Donald Trump has turned the presidency of the United States into a get-rich-quick scheme. We know he is a celebrated grifter and con artist. Now he is using the office of the presidency to do that. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't as familiar with the word kleptocracy until this administration. So Scott Galloway, he tells us exactly what that means.
Fascinated, Scott, that according to CNBC, while 58 crypto wallets have made over $10 million each on President Trump's meme coin, that's the fight, fight, fight coin, over 750,000 wallets have lost money on it. That's incredible to me. Like 58 people who I guess somehow were in the know. Made money, or many of them may have been in the know, and the vast majority of people who are buying small amounts, supporters of the president, I'm guessing, lost money.
But that's the definition of a kleptocracy, is that a small number of people with proximity to power make an exceptional amount of money, but the larger public loses a lot of money. It extends beyond that. On April, I believe it was the 9th, at 1 p.m., there was abnormal trading volume and calls, people betting the stock market was going to go up. And then at 1:18, Trump announced he was pausing tariffs, and the market screamed to one of its largest gains in history. So somebody knew at 1 p.m. what he was about to do. This is arguably the biggest grift in modern history. Think about it. The Trump family has gained $1 billion in wealth per month over the last 3 months. And the world is getting, or the U.S. is getting more expensive for everybody else.
Okay, here's what I have to say about that. There's no question he's a grifter, but I fault Anderson Cooper because he says, well, somehow these people made money. It's not somehow. He's telling people what he's going to do. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a perfect example of people that are benefiting from Trump's administration. You know who else did this? Putin. This is illegal. It's against the emoluments clause. And here we have, just like normal, like somehow this is happening. Trump is tipping these people off. His people are making a ton of money. Foreign adversaries are investing in this and making a ton of money. And I agree with Scott Galloway. This is the biggest grift in his long line of grifts.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when we saw in the Oval, when he said he made $2 billion today, he made $500 million today. This is Trump has people around him. He has the richest cabinet ever in the history of the United States. And they are all playing a very short-term game to come in, suck out as much money from this as they possibly can, and they don't care how they leave it. Usually presidents care a little bit about legacy and passing the torch and take some pride in that. There's no pride in any of this other than raping and pillaging everything they possibly can for personal gain. These people are morally flawed. And the problem is, I understand greedy, selfish, rich people. I understand 12 of them together. The problem is the 77 million people that are okay with this. There is a deep cancer in this country that has come to fruition, and these people are able to look at us in the face and say, oh, I don't really want to talk about politics. This isn't politics. This is the truth. These are facts. These are morals. This is human decency. And those people who think this is politics need to be called out as such for the dismantling of the United States of America. We are an international and global laughingstock. Completely.
What else strikes me is that the people that are losing money are, like Anderson Cooper said, they're Trump followers. The people who are getting rich, the people that are losing their ass on all these Trump investments, they're going to continue to lose their ass. They're going to lose healthcare. They're going to lose jobs. And they don't seem to have a problem with all of this escalation of the rich. And I don't understand how these people continue to vote against their self-interest. But that's a story for another day. Then you look at the foreign interference that Trump has allowed in his administration. You have the $5 million gold card where you can get citizenship. Now we look at this, put this graphic up. His crypto dinner. Tristan Snell says Trump's crypto dinner is literally selling the power of the U.S. president to the highest foreign bidders. This is total bribery and an unconstitutional violation of the emoluments clause. And you look at who is investing in all of these meme coins that he has, and it says 76% of the token value held among the top 220 wallets likely belongs to foreign owners because the wallets used exchanges that are not available to U.S. residents. So when you're talking about cybersecurity, when you're talking about intelligence, look no further than the breakdown in the Oval Office. And here's the deal. He doesn't care, and nobody around him cares.
But here, let's break this down for the American public to where it's a very simple message. If you voted for Trump, you voted because you were tired of other people coming into this country and making money. You were tired of people coming into this country and potentially getting some sort of benefit that you as a citizen maybe weren't getting. Whether that's true or not, that was the border and immigration was a huge problem for them. So what I need for these people to do is explain to me like I'm 5, how you're okay with a South African-born man coming over here who is a welfare queen, who the United States taxpayer subsidized to the tune of billions of dollars. That man's name is Elon Musk, who is able to shut down investigations into him when all of the other laws of the United States of America apply to us. And then when you look at this graph, why is it that you're okay with Trump enriching people from other countries and not enriching Americans? And that simplicity, why are you okay with Trump making all of these people millionaires and billionaires and not you? Why are you okay with that? Is that safe? Is that good for us? And all of this stuff just falls through. And then everybody's talking about the Gulf of America or opening of Alcatraz, when the real grift here, the real anti-American bullshit, they're so, they're patriots. This country's for Americans. We're not going to give it to anybody else. Trump's doing that at your expense.
Right.
MAGA, at your expense. All of his billionaire friends all over the place. This is a field day. There has never been a better time in the history of the world to be a white collar criminal than right now.
Right. Well, because the United States of America is the president of the United States is one. He is a white collar criminal. And then we have, shock to absolutely no one, Trump has never given up control of his businesses as required by ethics and morals and law. Put this up, Kyles. The Trump Organization admits in a filing that President Trump never gave up control of his business assets, despite public claims to the contrary. This confirms longstanding and obvious conflicts of interest, and the lack of transparency makes it worse. Here's the thing. He lies all the time. I never believed this. I never believed he would give up control, especially those bozos of sons. He's not giving it up to them. He can bankrupt it from the Oval Office, but this is the first time that he alone has figured out a scheme that's not going to go bankrupt. The American people might go bankrupt. The American economy might go bankrupt. But Trump is making billions off of the office of the presidency. And again, going back to all these foreign nationals, nobody cares. The America First crowd is totally silent about it.
Yeah, it's really amazing to me that we live in, this deep red state. A lot of these people that have this like white rural rage, or white suburban rage, where they're just so mad, and Trump has been a conduit for them to express their anger. And if he hoodwinks them or enriches himself just simply because he says the stuff that he says, the homophobic, the prejudice stuff against immigrants, that's enough for them. That satisfies enough for them, because then they feel less neglected. And both parties, quite frankly, have neglected these people. You have the Republican Party, who has overtly neglected them. And then you have the Democratic Party, who has covertly neglected them by really not pushing when we do have majorities and raising the minimum wage, because the Democratic establishment is beholden to corporations as well, which is why I think the messaging of Bernie and AOC is the path forward, because we can't just oppose Trump. And Bernie Sanders recently said this, so I'm borrowing this from him. We have to radically oppose Trump, but we have to radically rethink the way government works for us. because it just doesn't work. We manifested this entire moment, and everybody caved to the worst impulses of unregulated capitalism and selfishness, and merging religion in with American politics without making that kind of something that politicians shouldn't talk about their faith.
Right.
You should talk about service to the public. Keep your faith private. But instead, they use that to get the rubes roped in, and it's just it's really sad to watch all of this, because the fix for this is going to be so much longer than the break was.
Oh, it's generational. So going back to Trump is immune from executive decisions. Okay, Kristi Noem is not immune. She doesn't have absolute immunity. Pete Hegseth doesn't. Kash Patel doesn't. But anyway, I bring all of that up to say that Cyborg, what is Pee Wee German, Stephen Miller, has now sued Justice Roberts. And he has said the judicial branch of government, the three branches of government, he wants the judicial branch to go under the executive branch, because the judicial branch is the only thing keeping Trump in check. So I just have a little bit of hope I want to leave people with. Chief Justice Roberts has said Chief Justice Roberts took a thinly veiled shot at President Donald Trump during an interview Wednesday, and his remarks stunned CNN anchor Aaron Burnett, who noted he knows the weight of every word. And so what I am hopeful for, this kind of corruption in the White House, that is not executive privilege. I am hoping that the next attorney general is Democratic, and we have a full-throated investigation into this. And I am hopeful that John Roberts and the rest of the Supreme Court, now obviously not Alito and Clarence Thomas, they're too far gone, but they are going to hold some accountability for this administration. I am hopeful for that. I think they know, at least I think John Roberts knows, he created a monster. He created a monster, and it is destroying democracy.
Yeah, but he still continues to feed the monster. We're still feeding the monster. He they put out a ruling that Trump could still continue to ban trans service members in the military. They're probably going the Oklahoma case, the Oklahoma education case, where that money is going to be funded, taxpayer money is going to fund a religious school. They're probably going to vote for that. And so I take issue with, like, on the one hand, I'm not going to cede my power, but on the other hand, I'm still going to feed all of the things and all of the bigotry and all of the corruption that led to this moment. He knows, and every person on that court knows, that we have a distinct separation of church and state, and they're going to squander that. They know that the trans people that serve in the military are brave, actually braver than anybody in the Trump administration, to be born in this fucking transphobic country and be treated like a piece of shit. Then you have the Supreme Court bully used to fuck John Roberts. I don't have any hope in him, because he wants to play both sides. He wants to keep his power for him personally, but he doesn't give a shit, and he doesn't fight for equality for all Americans. So fuck him. Fuck him trying to have a moment of clarity on CNN. It is bullshit. I'm sick of it.
There you go. We're trying to get to 1 million subscribers. Stick with us for more news.